flickering neon sign of the Lucky Star Diner cast a sickly green glow onto the rain-slicked pavement. Inside, the air hung thick with the smell of stale coffee and something else, something cloying and metallic that reminded me of old pennies. I nursed a lukewarm cup, the chill of the night seeping into my bones. My usual booth, the one by the window where I could watch the world go by, felt wrong tonight. Empty. It had started subtly. A misplaced item in my apartment. A book I'd left on my nightstand, found neatly stacked on the bookshelf. Then the whispers. Not audible words, but a sensation, like a cold breath on the back of my neck. A feeling of being watched even when I was alone. My dog, Buster, a usually boisterous golden retriever, had begun to whimper at shadows, his hackles raised at nothing I could perceive. Last night was the worst. I'd woken up to the sound of scratching at my bedroom door. Not a frantic, animalistic sound, but slow, deliberate scrapes, as if someone was trying to etch a message into the wood. Buster had been a low growl, hackles fully erect, a sound I'd never heard him make. I'd frozen, my heart hammering against my ribs, every instinct screaming danger. The scratching stopped as abruptly as it began, replaced by a heavy silence that was even more unnerving. Now, staring into the murky depths of my coffee, I remembered something else. The man in my building. He wasn't overtly threatening, not like the poster from the apartment complex shared online. He was off. He'd cornered me in the hallway once, asking intrusive questions about my work, his eyes too wide, too bright. He'd smiled a smile that didn't reach his eyes, a rictus of something unsettling. I dismissed him as just weird, but tonight, that metallic scent was stronger. It clung to the diner, to the air, to me. I glanced at my hands. No cuts, no bruises. Yet, the feeling persisted, as if something had burrowed beneath my skin. My phone buzzed. A notification from my building's security app. Unidentified presence detected in your unit. Panic flared, cold and sharp. I bolted from the booth, leaving my coffee half finished. The walk to my apartment felt like an eternity, each shadow a lurking threat. The hallway was eerily silent. I fumbled with my keys, my hands shaking. As the lock clicked open, a faint, guttural whisper slithered from inside. It was my name. The apartment was plunged into darkness. I reached for the light switch, my fingers brushing against something cold and slick. A thick, viscous liquid. It smeared across my hand, smelling undeniably of that metallic tang. It wasn't just a scent anymore. It was a taste, a cloying sweetness that made me gag. Then, from the darkness, 2 pinpricks of emerald light blinked open. They weren't eyes. They were too sharp, too angular, and they pulsed with a malevolent energy that seemed to leach the warmth from the room. A low chuckle, a sound like grinding stones, echoed from the corner. It wasn't human. It was ancient, hungry, and it was here, with me. The last coherent thought I had before the darkness consumed everything was that I had invited it in, and it had no intention of leaving. Welcome to the Aqeela Files. Have you ever felt like you're being watched, even when you're completely alone? because some things, once invited in, never truly leave.